Hi there, welcome to Two Birds. I'm Fiona and this is Ralph, and today's class is a 75-minute Vinyasa flow class for those times when you have a little bit more time and a little bit more energy to explore a more challenging practice. It's a complete flow which includes core work, standing poses, arm balances and inversions. And it's especially dedicated to Marcus and his wife for all their wonderful support. I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for joining. Namaste. And begin your practice laying down on your back, bending your knees, inviting your feet to land wide and your knees to knock in toward one another. Resting your hands on your body and just take a moment. Letting the front of your body recede back with a few exaggerated exhales. And as you breathe out in this way, see if you can make contact with your deep abdominal core, that space between the two sit bones, the pubic bone and tailbone, that dome-like collection of muscles, sensing a lift and contraction on your exhale. And in this way we begin to connect with the very root of our energy body, that which provides a physical lift and buoyancy to our practice, but also gives us a sense of security and stability. And taking 3 more rounds of breath, feeling for that deliberate abdominal engagement each out-breath. And taking this breathing pattern with you now as we begin to move, warm and loosen our bodies. And walking your feet in toward each other, spreading your arms wide into a T, palms face down. And just airlifting your knees in toward you. And just take a little rock side to side. And extend your right leg out straight along the mat, and we'll initiate some circles through our left hip, sending your left knee to your right, straighten your left leg and circle all the way back, rebending your knee as it crosses over your torso. 2 more here. And then circle back in the opposite direction and try to avoid your buttocks hardening here. So all the musculature around your hips, your buttocks, feels this nice massage, and the joint of your hip feels relaxed and fluid. And coming back to center, and just flip your palms face down now, make your way into a twist. Motioning your left knee to your right, and then rolling on the back of your head, sending your gaze to your left. Breathe full and deep. And releasing, rolling back. Palms face down, so you just feel secure and you've got something to hang on to as we circle through to the other side. Left leg straightens and your right knee circles to your left, down, back and around. And switching directions, just letting your breath support your movement. So you've got that light engagement through your abdominal core as you exhale, offering support to your low back as you move. And coming back to center and twisting now, taking your right knee over to your left, palms face up. So you can just feel the shoulder blades snuggle down your spine and any comfortable arrangement with your legs so your twist feels supported. And you can breathe a deep breath, taking 2 more full cycles of breath. And gently roll back now. Onto your back, align yourself into a straight line. And keeping your head resting, float your knees in toward your chest and taking your arms alongside your body. And on your in-breath, send your legs away. On your out-breath, lightly hop your hips, bring the knees in. And just stay with that sequence. Legs a little lower if you're feeling strong in the core. Shoot the legs a little higher if you're still working on your core strength. So trying not to create too much of a trough in your low back spine, keeping the ribs knitting close toward your hips. Every exhale. Now send your legs straight up toward the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind the back of your head, lifting your head and your shoulders. You can keep a little micro bend in the knees there. Breathe in here. And exhale, lower both your legs to about 45 degrees. And then on your way back, just bend your knees in toward your chest. Shoot the legs back up toward the ceiling. So double leg lifts, lowering. And then drawing them in, sending them straight up toward the ceiling. As you continue here, just make contact with your breathing pattern and your abdominal core. Just moderating how low you take your legs based on your comfort in your low back. And we'll keep moving here. Last abdominal sequence. Head stays lifting, both knees in toward your chest when you're ready. And then on your in-breath, just reach your right leg forward and your right arm back. On your exhale, tuck in. Inhale, reach away. And exhale, curl in. And just stay with that sequence. Holding your form. Reaching from the toes to the edge of your fingers. And then keeping your right leg extended now, both hands to the back of your head. Inhale here, stay lifted. Exhale, twist toward your left knee. Inhale back to center. And then just stay with that. Keep extending and engaging your right leg, pointing the toes away. We've got 2 more. And now let's just spike out both legs and twist. Left and right, stay lifted. And rest. Set your head back down, hug the knees in. Take a breather, maybe rolling on the back of your head, releasing your neck. Second side now, final side. Raise your head, hands behind the back of your head, knees in toward your chest. Inhale, left leg reaches away, left arm up and overhead. Exhale, curl in, hand catches your knee. So just stay with that. Conscious of your breath as you move, staying focused on your form. Last 2. And now hold your left leg extended, both hands behind the back of your head and twist to your right. Back to center. Your exhale twists you. And staying elevated, stay strong, nearly there. And now quick bike out to the legs, both legs moving, twisting left and right. Last few. And rest. Set your head back down. And it might feel good just to roll on the back of your head again, hoping you can feel some warmth there in your belly and you can really feel where your center is. Let's take a few rock and rolls to make our way up. I'm going to cross our right foot in front of your left foot and hold onto your feet here. Let's take a few rolls through the spine and arrive upright in an easy cross-legged forward fold. Trying to cross at your shin, so you narrow your knees in here, flexing the feet. Big inhale, reach the arms up toward the ceiling. And a slow exhale to forward fold, hands to the floor, bowing in. And just inviting your inner groins and the crease of your hips and your buttocks to relax heavy. And if you'd like more sensation, you can experiment with crawling your hands over to your left, emptying a little bit more deliberate weight into your right buttocks. Just stay grounded. And coming back through center and into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, taking the soles of your feet together. Hands interlaced around your feet or catch a hold of your ankles. We'll stay upright here. 3 deep breaths. And see if you can feel your breath descend all the way down into the pelvic bowl. So you have this expansive, spacious feeling right in the center of your body, radiating out into your inner groins, inner thighs. And sense that natural contraction as your breath recedes. Releasing now, folding the knees in toward each other, cross-legged forward fold on the opposite side, taking your left shin in front of your right shin. Arms reach alongside your ears, sit tall. On your exhale, forward fold. You might like to take a little rock out through the hips. And option to walk your hands a little over to the right now. And walking your way back through center, we'll make our way onto all fours, middle of the mat. Placing your hands, spreading each of your fingers, and roll through 3 rounds of cat and cow, undulating the spine with the wave of your breath. Making contact with your center as you breathe. A hollowing contraction at the end of your exhale. And an expansion with your breath and shape as you breathe in. And just returning to neutral, and we'll warm up our wrists, dialing your fingers out toward the long edge of your mat. So finding anywhere between 1 and 3 o'clock, just rock your weight gently side to side. So try to close up the air pockets underneath your knuckles of your fingers. And then turn your fingers forward now. Same thing in a linear direction, rocking forward and back. And if you'd like to add on here, you can tuck your toes and hover your knees an inch or 2 from the floor. Feeling the abs switch on, swallow your belly up. And either stay here or knees down or step out to a plank pose. Last few here. Rocking forward and back. And then take the knees down and sit back on your heels or your buttocks, and we'll take a roll out through the wrists. Press your palms together and then just circle your fingers forward and reverse, feeling the back of your hands press and roll. And circle back, opposite direction. And Now interlace your fingers, turn your hands inside out and press your palms forward. Dome your spine. As you breathe in, send the arms up overhead, big stretch. And then take a simple side stretch from here, dropping your right fingers to the floor, left arm up and overhead. And then springing off your right hand, switch over. Left hand grounds, right arm up and over. And coming back through center, transitioning now into downward facing dog. So just finding your comfortable stride in your downward facing dog. Pedal out through the heels, toggle the hips, and you might notice that in your shape that you've found, your upper body maybe feels a little more awake and mobile. And we're going to balance that out now and pour our attention into the lower body so your legs and hips feel equally long and strong. We're going to make our way now to the top of your mat. A little light bend in the knees, look forward and walk yourself forward. And setting the feet up hip distance apart. Taking a halfway lift, hands slide up to your shins. And then fold in with a mellow bend in your knees. Rise all the way to stand. Circle the arms out and then up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart center. So for comfort and balance here, keep your feet about hips distance apart. Inhale here into chair pose. You're going to bend the knees, reach the arms alongside your ears. So you can keep the gaze down here, keep the neck nice and long. Motion the hips back. Bring the shins back in space. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. So just going to move through this round of sun salutes nice and slow. Take a halfway lift, hands to your shins, straight legs, throat open. As you exhale, fingertips down, lunge your right leg back to a runner's lunge. Nice long stride. Left knee right over your ankle there. Stretching down the front of your right thigh, chest open. And then go ahead, plant the hands, step quietly back to downward facing dog. Stretch heavy into your heels, long through your arms. Ripple forward to a high push-up now, sending the gaze forward. Feel free to drop the knees here, lowering to the floor, low push-up. First back bend here, keep it low, keep it slow, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Opening the chest, bring the ribs forward. And exhale, peel down to the floor, roll on your knees. Downward facing dog. Dropping anchors into your hands. Breathing smooth. Deep breath in. As you exhale, step your right foot forward, top edge of the mat for a low lunge. So left knee softly down to the floor. When you steady, reach the arms alongside your ears. Stay for your out breath. Slightly lower the front hip, keeping the left thigh and buttocks engaged. And fingers to the floor here. Stepping up, top edge of the mat, feet hip width. Ardha Uttanasana, breathing in. Forward fold, Uttanasana, breathing out. Coming through chair pose, bend the knees deeply, reach the arms. And press to stand, standing tall, two straight legs, hands to your heart center. Left side now, same slow pace, bend the knees, chair pose, stay for a couple of breaths. Sit bones lift toward the pelvis, keeping the low back spine nice and long. Deep breath in. Exhale and forward fold. Halfway lift on your in-breath. Fingertips down, left foot lunges back, runner's lunge. Stay for a couple of breaths. Light on your fingers, let your legs support you. And then plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Ripple forward to your high push-up as you breathe in, long and strong through the front of your body. Low push-up to the floor. Bhujangasana, gently peeling up, curving the spine. And exhale, roll back through the knees and into downward facing dog. Keep making contact with your breath. Take a full breath in. Preparing to move, left foot steps forward now, top edge of the mat, right knee softly down. Reach the arms up alongside your ears, low lunge. Stay for a few breaths. Pushing down through your front heel. And then hands to the floor, stepping up, top edge of the mat. Ardha Uttanasana, your halfway lift. And forward fold. Rise to stand, reach the arms. And hands to your heart center. Next round, same sequence, one movement, one breath. Chair pose, breathe in. Forward fold on your out breath. Halfway lift. Runner's lunge, right foot lunging back. Deep breath in, chest forward, collarbones broad. Plant the hands, downward facing dog. High push-up, breathe in, abs engaged, eyes forward. Chaturanga, low push-up. Back bend of your choice, breathing in. Downward facing dog, breathing out. Deep breath in. Exhale, right foot steps forward, low lunge, left knee softly down. Push into your feet, your shin, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the floor, frame your front foot, stepping up. Ardha Uttanasana, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Chair pose, breathe in, forgot that last time. Press to stand, and hands to your heart. Left side now, chair pose, breathe in, hips back. Forward fold on your out breath. Ardha Uttanasana, nice flat back, extended spine. Fingertips down, left foot lunging back, runner's lunge. Chest open, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. On your in-breath, way forward, high push-up. On your out-breath, lower slow. Your back bend, breathe in, fill right up to the top of the lungs. Downward facing dog, breathing out. Deep breath in. And left foot steps forward for your low lunge. Right knee now down to the floor, arms rise. And hands to frame your front foot, stepping up. Halfway lift. And forward fold, empty your lungs, release your head. Chair pose as you breathe in. Press all the way to stand, stand tall. Settle your hands to your heart center. Good job. So we're going to stay with this tempo now, building heat. We'll vary and add on. So feet hip distance apart to keep you steady, keep you grounded. Breathe in deeply, chair pose, drop your hips, reach your arms. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Ardha Uttanasana on your in-breath. Exhale, right foot lunging back, and we'll twist here. Left arm circle, so bringing the left arm forward, standing on your toes, your right thigh strong and lifting, circle back. And we're going to rise steady to a high lunge now. Deep breath in. Stay for your out breath. Breathe in. Exhale, hands swim behind your back now. Interlace all your fingers. Stay upright. Full breath in. Exhale and fold over your front thigh. Really engage your abdominal core every exhale so there's a sense of air between your left thigh and your belly. And release your hands, transitioning into low lunge now. Lower your right knee, press down, reach up, arms alongside your ears. And exhale, hands to the floor. Take your Vinyasa, stepping back, plank to Chaturanga. Back bend of your choice. And take it slow, savor your breath. Downward facing dog. We'll take 3 smooth cycles of breath. Smoothing out any harshness to the texture of your breath. Reconnecting with your center. Same sequence as we make our way back to the top edge of the mat. Step the toes together here. Raise your right leg up and back. Breathe in. Exhale, right foot steps up, runner's lunge, twist. Here your right arm circles now. Preparing for your high lunge, stay steady in the feet. Arms reach up, coming up a little higher. And on your exhale, hands behind the back, shoulders stretch. Interlace the fingers. Stay upright, breathe in. Fold with your out breath. Stay for an extra breath. And then release the hands, transition low lunge on your in breath. Hands to the floor, on your out breath, stepping quietly up to the top edge of your mat. Take a full breath cycle here to open and fold and release. Coming through chair pose, bend the knees, reach the arms. Press to stand. Rest your prayer hands to your heart. We'll do one more cycle on your left, same sequence. One movement, one breath. On your inhale, Utkatasana. On your out breath, Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot steps back, runner's lunge twist. Your right arm circles now. Find your steady feet. Rise slowly up, high lunge, a little bit of a challenge for your balance. Exhale, hands behind the back. Interlace your fingers into a knot, staying upright. Lower ribs, upper abs contained, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold over your right thigh. Nice and slow. Transition into your low lunge now. As the arms reach up to the edge of your pinky fingers. And release the hands, release your breath, hands to the floor, Vinyasa. Stepping back and lowering slow. And we'll all meet up in downward facing dog. Toes step together, back of your mat, left leg rising, breathe in. Left foot up to your hands and twist. Left arm circles now. Steady feet, preparing for high lunge as the arm circles back, both arms up. Elevate yourself. Hands behind the back, shoulders stretch. Take a deep breath in, breathe right up toward your throat. Exhale and forward fold. Low lunge, back knee to the floor, arms rise and release. And then fingertips to the floor, stepping up. Halfway lift, stay with your breath. Forward fold. Coming through chair pose, bend the knees, reach the arms. Rise all the way to stand. Hands to your heart center and pause. Take a moment, reset, connect with your breath, just slowing down now. So we'll hold the poses a little bit longer. Now that we're warm. Next breath in, coming into chair pose. Breathe in, weight heavy in your heels, arms extending, sit bones lifting toward your pelvis. Always find this quite helpful because it extends your low back spine. Press your palms here and then just lower your hands to your heart center. Take another breath in, stay low in your seat and then twist to your left. So you can hook your right elbow or that right forearm can sit in front of your shins. Just taking a twist that feels comfortable here, and we'll take 3 more cycles of breath. Encouraging your thumbs toward your sternum, sway your hips gently to the left and shift your left collarbone back in space. And keep your hands in prayer, just send your gaze forward to the floor. Transfer your weight onto your left foot and carefully step your right foot back to a lunge twist. Feel and press down through your right toes, lifting and engaging your right thigh. Pause here. Find your abdominal center, and if you're feeling steady, return your gaze out over your left shoulder. Making room across your chest to breathe. And taking 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, release, taking your fingers to the floor, walk around to your right, all the way over to your right foot for Skandasana. Extending your left leg long and straight, toes flexed, left quads nice and strong. Chest open here, elevated through the front and back of your spine. Then use the power of your right leg, your right foot to transition into Warrior 2, springing toward the front of your mat. Warrior 2 on the left side. We're here to pause, so take your time to set yourself up. Find a deep, long stride. And just focus on guiding your left inner thigh toward the pinky toe side of your left foot. And your right leg should feel really strong and straight here. And every exhale, gathering and contracting your abdominal core. Every inhale, just giving your limbs length and space. Perhaps sinking just a little lower. Keep the feet grounded. On your inhale, reverse your warrior. On your exhale, make your way into side angle Konasana, your version to accommodate the feeling of comfort in your low back. So forearm can sit on your knee, or you can take your hand down a little lower. So you can sense a feeling of steadiness and ease, your breath motoring smoothly. And of course you can add on here, explore a half bind or a full bind here. Last 3 cycles of breath. Take it slow, breathe deep. And releasing now, hands to the floor, finishing strong, side plank, balancing on your right hand, step back plank pose. Right hand's your foundation, heel spin to your right, left arm reaches up toward the sky, rainbow the undercarriage of the right side of your waist here. So feel the center of your body strong and steady. Keep breathing. Left arm overhead, reach it forward to the front of your room. Exhale, release, taking a Vinyasa, hands to the floor. And your Vinyasa can be your version. We'll all meet up in downward facing dog. And the literal translation of Vinyasa actually means to place yourself in a special way. So really it's just an expression in practice to move mindfully. So there's no obligation to do dozens of push-ups, but rather an intention to move and step gracefully with awareness. So with that in mind, light bend in your knees, looking up, making your way to the top edge of the mat, stepping quietly, traveling slow. And when you arrive, take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Rise all the way to stand and settle your hands to your heart center there, Tadasana. Second side now. Breathe in chair pose, Utkatasana. Stay for a couple of breaths, just sitting the hips nice and low. Filling out through your low back spine. And then pressing your palms, hands to the heart center. Take another breath and draw the shoulder heads back. And as you exhale, twist. Twisting to your right. Breathing here, a couple more breaths. See if you can drop your buttocks down just a little lower. Rock your weight back into your heels. And then keeping your arms where they are, just your eyes down now. Carefully step your left foot back into a lunge twist. A little bit of a balance. Find your steady shape. Keep your lungs available, opening through your upper chest. Here for a few more breaths. Releasing now for Skandasana. Walk all the way around to your left, over to your left foot, straightening out through your right leg. Just take a breather. Keep the right leg strong and straight. Right side warrior 2 now, springing forward to the front edge of your mat. Right toes turned to 12 o'clock, arms open out nice and wide. Center yourself here, torso upright, armpits over the hips. Equal effort through the legs, so you don't overload your front thigh. Sink just a little deeper here, and on your in-breath, reverse your warrior. Reach up, nice side body stretch. On your out-breath, side angle. Any version that suits your body. Keep pressing firmly down through your right heel. Anchor the pinky toe side of your left foot. Either a half or full bind, or stay right where you are. Keep your breathing steady. And then eyes down, hands down, stepping back to plank, side arm balance coming up on your left hand now. Heels to the left, right arm to the sky. You can always have 2 feet down here or even a knee down. Send the right arm overhead and take your Vinyasa, your version. If you're feeling strong and you'd like to keep rolling, upward dog or cobra, and then downward facing dog. Take 3 full cycles of breath. There's a rest coming up. Relaxing your jaw and your face. Light bend in your knees. Going to walk your hands back to your feet, back edge of the mat. Coming into gorilla arms. Light bend in the knees. Slip the palms of your hands underneath the soles of your feet and wriggle your toes all the way up to your wrist creases. So deep bend in the knees there and feet about hip width apart. And then give yourself a little bit more space. Perhaps you can lift up a little way by pressing down through the feet, straightening out through the legs. and then forward fold a little closer toward your thighs. So keep pressure through your feet so your hands are lifting up against that resistance. Nice counter stretch for the back of our hands after side plank. And keep the hands where they are. Take a halfway lift. Exhale, release, walking your hands toward the top edge of your mat. As you walk your hands up, take your feet up. We're coming up. We'll all meet up, top edge of the mat. Take a halfway lift when you arrive. No rush, forward fold. Rise to stand when you're ready. And then hands to your heart center, Tadasana. We'll keep it rolling, keep building heat. Utkatasana, chair pose, breathe in. Now float your arms out wide, preparing for eagle pose, Skandasana. So you're going to balance on your right foot here and wrap your left leg over the top of the shelf of your right thigh. And you can either hook your foot around the back of your calf or tap your left toes to the floor. Weaving your arms, right arm on top, left arm under. And try and hug your abdominal core around your center of gravity. Here as we linger. For ladies, your center of gravity is just below your navel. So if you can imagine your abdominal core squeezing in around that space. And for men, it's a little higher toward the sternum. Reaching the fingers up, eyes steady to where your elbows cross. Now keep your arms wrapped and slowly unravel your left leg and extend it back toward Warrior 3. We're just here for a beat. Do your best to balance. Don't worry if you're wobbly. I probably am too. And land softly when you're ready into a high lunge. Keeping your eagle arms, reach the fingers, spread the architecture of your upper back here. And then unwind your arms. We're going to reach them up tall. Press your palms, transitioning. Hands lower, Warrior 2. Opening out. There's a rest coming up. Just here to transition. Take the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. And pivot your toes toward your left and face the long edge of your mat. For wide-legged forward fold. And a breather. Deep breath in. Squeeze the shoulder blades in together. As you exhale, forward fold, legs strong, weight lightly forward toward your toes. And then once you've found your forward fold, gently lift the shoulder heads up away from the floor. So you can sense your neck gently tractioning with the weight of your head. Breathe deeply. No over effort there in the shoulders. And just release your fingertips to the floor now. Take a halfway lift. And then walk around to your right foot. We're just going to step up here, top edge of the mat. Feet about hip width. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Rise all the way to stand, straighten your legs out. And then hands to your heart center. So just check in, feet a smidge apart here, it'll help with your balance. Chair legs, breathe in, reach the arms. Float the arms out wide to the side. Coming into eagle, balance on our left foot now, right leg wraps. Opposite arms to your legs, left arm on top. Right arm under. Now get the feeling you're hugging everything toward the midline. And imagine and sense the very center point of your left foot holding you steady. Balancing your weight. Nice outer hip stretch. So you're going to maintain your eagle arms here and just do your best. Undo your right leg. Extend back through warrior 3. Firm your shape from the center out. Landing lightly in a high lunge. Keep the eagle arms, reach the fingers. And then release the arms up alongside your ears. Press your palms. And open out warrior 2 on your left side now. And then go ahead, straighten your left leg. Toes turn to your right, hands to your hips. Big deep breath in, elbows pointing back like you're trying to get them to kiss behind you, and then forward fold, Prasarita, Padottanasana, taking any comfortable position with your arms now that feels nourishing. So you could hold opposite elbows, you could run your hands down your legs, or go a little deeper, hands to the floor. And one more full cycle of breath. And wherever you're at, fingertips underneath the shoulders, halfway lift. Exhale, making your way around for a Vinyasa, stepping back, high push-up. Exhale, low push-up. Upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. And taking 3 full cycles of breath, just notice if you feel a little bit more open through the back of your body now, all the way down the back seams of your legs. Just explore pressing into the knuckles of your fingers, straightening the arms a little longer so your heels can reach back. And just taking a light bend in your knees here. We're going to hop our feet into a squat, but only halfway up the mat. So just a little hop, lift the hips, and keep the feet quite wide, turn the toes out, and find your version of squat pose here. You can come all the way down on the back of your calves, with the elbows on the inside of your knees, or stay more elevated. And try and encourage the inner thighs to stretch a little toward, in the direction of your knees. Gently drawing the skull back in space. Last cycle of breath. And then release your hands to the floor. Step your feet back to hip width apart. And come all the way up to stand. And just hands to your hips here. So hopefully you're in the middle of your mat. If you're not, just make your way there now. We're going to come into chair legs and potentially an arm balance, but there's lots of modifications along the way. So from here, both toes pointing forward, bend the knees, chair legs. So spreading the soles of your feet. And transfer your weight onto your right foot and take figure 4 legs. So left ankle crossing over the top of your right knee. You can keep your hands on your hips or take your hands to prayer in this balance. And this balance might be quite sufficient for your outer and inner thighs, and feel free to pause and stay here. If you have more mobility in your hips, we're traveling toward flying baby pigeon. Beginning to sit just a little lower in your hips, and then folding forward so you can find the floor with your fingertips, and wedging your left toes around your upper right arm. So very carefully drop your weight forward, taking the palms to the floor now. Grip your fingers into the floor so you can use them as brakes as you find your balance. Left knee wedges to your left armpit area. And just play with shifting your chest forward, eyes forward, and maybe floating your right heel in toward your buttocks. Of course, if you're feeling balanced and you'd like more air, extend your right leg straight into Ekapada, Galavasana. And wherever you're at, we're going to reverse out of the pose with care, popping up onto your fingertips, drop your weight back, and release your left foot to the floor and just take an easy forward fold. And then fingertips to the floor. With the support of your hands there, step your left foot back and then your right foot forward to set up for pyramid pose. Once you have your feet in place, rise tall to stand, reach the arms. And then hands to your heart center. Right foot might like to move a little over to the right lane. So keeping your hands at your heart center, shoulder heads back, chest open, deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold here. Just find your edge, the place where you can just start to feel a challenge through the back of your front thigh. Pause and breathe. Wait for your breath to guide you. Feel free to run your hands down your legs or even take your hands to the floor there. Keep it easy in your body. Next breath in, coming up halfway. Set your hands down here, lengthen your stride, either take a vinyasa or step quietly back, downward facing dog. And with a light bend in your knees, hands fully planted, take a hop to the middle of your mat and set your feet up just hip width apart here, a halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise to stand, taking the arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And then hands to your hips. Bend the knees and find your chair legs. Opposite side now for your hip groin stretch, balancing on your left foot. Right ankle to the top of your left thigh. And just find your balance. Just notice, make sure that your left foot points forward. Often wants to just skip out a little to the left, so keeping it forward. And then transitioning, if you'd like to, into Ekapada Galavasana. Fingertips, then the palms down, shifting your weight forward. And your right heel in toward your buttocks as you make your way into a balance. Keep your eyes forward, it's always going to help. Lifting the hips. And we'll all come back down nice and slow. Unraveling. 2 feet on the ground. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Fingertips to the floor, setting up for pyramid pose, stepping your left foot forward, your right foot back. Once you're steady, rise all the way up, reach the arms. And then just hands to your heart center. So concentrating on keeping a long, unwrinkled feeling through the front of your chest. On your exhale, you're folding forward. Might like a little micro bend in your left knee to make that more accessible, but do keep your right leg fully straight without being rigid or tense there. You just balance out through the hips, give yourself a little room to fold forward and rest your breath. One more full cycle of breath. Lift up a little way, make your way through a vinyasa or into downward facing dog. When you're ready, give yourself perhaps a longer stride here. Really feel the length of your back body that you've created as you've moved, warmed up. And dropping down onto all fours now. Coming into Dolphin prep. So you're taking your forearms to the floor. And you can interlace your fingers here, run the pinky fingers along your mat, or keep your elbows shoulder width apart, just whatever feels the most comfortable in your shoulders. Raise the knees, lift the hips, and then adjust your stride. So toes might be able to walk in, your heels heavy, or you might need a longer stride with your knees bent. Do press down through your inner forearms, inner wrists, to push the floor away so you have that little bit of lightness and buoyancy. And you can let your head release down toward the floor without actually touching the floor. Spreading through your upper back. And then a brief rest. Just take the knees to the floor and rest back in child's pose. But you're going to press your palms here and take your fingers to the nape of your neck, walking your elbows forward so you get that nice stretch down through the back of your triceps. And then releasing. So next option here, either repeat Dolphin pose, or if you're confident in Headstand, we'll take that now, interlacing the fingers, placing your forearms down, head down into the basket of your hands, crown of the head pressing into the mat. So you're going to just move nice and slow here. If you're confident in Headstand, do take it slow. Lifting the hips and walking your toes toward your face until you feel that little bit of lightness. So your legs can lift up off the floor without having to spring. And extending your legs up toward the ceiling. Just here for a few breaths. You can come down at any time. Trying to breathe calm, pressing down through your forearms, either in Dolphin or Headstand there. Legs strong. And with a nice strong abdominal core, if you're in Headstand, you're slowly curling the knees in toward your face, into your chest, curling down, landing lightly. We'll all meet up in child's pose. And this time just wrap your arms back toward your feet, curl in, relax your shoulders, let go of your effort. And rest. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And then just slowly make your way up and onto your back here, or set up for a bridge pose. Middle of the mat, 2 feet on the floor, knees bent, arms alongside your body, shuffle around. Just get comfortable with being back on your back. And then neutral spine, take a deep breath in. Exhale, flatten the low back against the mat, and then press into your feet, lift up into your bridge pose. For those of you with tighter shoulders, wrap your fingers around the edges of your mat so you've got something to hang on to there if it's comfortable for you. And we have warmed the shoulders. You might find that you can interlace your fingers underneath your buttocks so you can narrow the space between your shoulder blades and get a little bit more lift and openness across your chest. Keeping a little hollow, a little trough in the back of your neck. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands, peel down through your spine. Take a moment, keep the feet on the floor there. Setting up for your second bridge or wheel here. If you are comfortable coming into wheel, shoulders are open, wrists are nice and warm, might be a good opportunity. Otherwise, your second bridge, lifting up and just focusing on gazing down your chest. Just trying to see your ribs open and contract with your breath. Lengthening your tailbone toward the back of your knees. And keeping the thighs pressing toward one another so they feel parallel. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release all the way down, let the arms go. Go ahead, catch the knees in toward your chest. And take a little rock side to side. Well done. And setting up for another inversion here, shoulder stand flow. As an alternative, you can take your legs up a wall space or just straight up toward the ceiling here, one leg at a time as an alternative. If you're comfortable in plow pose, shoulder stand, don't have any issues with your neck or shoulders at the moment, taking your arms alongside your body. With care, float your feet out overhead, taking your feet toward the floor or land them. Don't be in a rush to take the legs up here. Really set yourself up so your neck's in quite deep flexion here. You want to try and keep that little hollow in the back of your neck by pushing the back of your skull into the mat. Then bringing your hands to the small of your back. Make sure your fingertips can point up toward the ceiling. Walk them down toward your shoulder blades so you narrow that space between the elbows. And then when you feel ready, one leg up at a time toward shoulder stand. And with your hands in place, try and get that feeling that you're drawing your back body toward your front body, pressing down through your upper back of your arms to lift up. And just quietly settle here. We'll take 5 more deep breaths. Keep your gaze steady. Don't turn your head. And with control, sending your feet out back overhead to plow pose. We'll pause there. If your feet are comfortably touching the floor, it's not the case for a lot of people, but if they are, you can point your toes, slide the toes away. You can either catch your fingers around the edges of your mat or interlace your fingers behind your back there. If you're hovering, hold on. Nice stretch for the whole back body there. Just get comfortable, keep the eyes steady. And then when you're ready to release, try and pour the knees in toward your chest as you roll out of the pose, coming out with control. And taking your feet to the floor. And we can all meet up here if you've just had your legs up. I'm going to set up for fish pose. With your feet on the floor, raise the buttocks, slip the hands underneath your buttocks. Let the thumbs press. Extend both legs out straight. And then pressing into the back of your arms, your hands, gently arch and curve the spine. And come to rest on the very crown of your head. Opening your throat, your chest. And keeping the legs active. So if you're comfortable and familiar in this pose, you can point the toes, raise the legs. Otherwise, just keep the feet on the floor, breathe nice and deep, enjoy the stretch through the front of your body. And And then bringing your chin back in toward your chest, lower down nice and carefully. Bend the knees, lift the buttocks, release the hands, gather the knees in toward your chest. Take some circles or a little rock through your low back spine, just reset, recalibrate here. And then 2 feet to the floor. We'll come into a twist. Right leg crosses over the left leg. Pressing into the left foot, raise the hips. Knees to your left. And roll on the back of your head. Take the gaze to your right. Feel free to close your eyes here. Breathing softer. And then slowly coming all the way back up, unraveling, twisting opposite side here. Rewrap the legs, knees to your right. One more deep breath in and out. And releasing. Unwrap your legs, bring the knees in toward your chest. We'll finish with one last forward fold before our rest. You can either roll to your side or rock and roll and come all the way up to sit. Sitting evenly on your sit bones, legs engaged and outstretched, arms reach up, Paschimottanasana. Exhale and forward fold. And just notice how your forward fold here feels after a slightly longer practice. And keep it nice and honest, relaxed, with the intention of moving yourself toward rest. And when you're ready, gently releasing and making your way either into a comfortable seat for seated meditation, if that's how you'd like to complete your practice, or rest back in Shavasana. Wriggle out any last restlessness from your body as you settle in. And just notice if you could make any final subtle adjustments to make yourself more comfortable. And gently close your eyes. Let your body weight sink and melt into the support beneath you. Letting your eyes fall steady toward your third eye. And bringing your awareness to the hollow space of your throat, your tongue, jaw. Feel the sensations in your gums, teeth, lips, cheeks, your chin, ears, nose. Feel you breathe through your nostrils. Awareness to your eyes, space between your brows, forehead, crown of your head, back of your skull, back of your neck. Feel both shoulders from the inside, both upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, the backs of your hands, thumbs, fingers. Feel the space between your fingers. Now feel your chest, your upper back, your rib cage. Feel your middle back, your belly, low back, the pelvis, your hips, your buttocks, your thighs, knees, lower legs, ankles, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, your big toes, second toes, third, fourth, pinky toes. Feel the space between your toes. Now feel your whole body at once. The awareness of your whole body. And commit your whole body to rest. Gently, gently drifting your awareness back breathing a deeper breath. And bringing some movement to your body. And if you are lying back there, bending your knees, taking your feet to the floor, gently, gently roll over to your right side. Blinking the eyes open. And slowly dragging yourself all the way back up to sit. It's just started raining here. And I hope you've enjoyed this fuller, longer class. And you stay well, keep safe. Thanks for joining. Namaste.